asteroid tsunami, a space rock heading to Earth could create a 185-foot wave in a major disaster. I would say it could be a lot bigger than that. I'm still reeling from the previous video I did on the fact that Jupiter could be spewing rocks at Earth like a sniper instead of protecting us. But anyway, this is a new revelation here. An asteroid which is reportedly heading to Earth could cause a tsunami wave up to 185 feet in height. This is according to calculations of researchers. It's asteroid Bennu. That's where we're sending our NASA spacecrafts to try and get a sample. It's not working out because the asteroid Bennu is so jagged that the spacecraft can't get down to the surface to grab a sample of the surface, bring it back so that we can test it to see what it is and how we can mitigate or how we can sort of deflect this asteroid from coming towards Earth. We have to find out what material it's made out of. And it's not possible for the spacecraft to do that because of the jaggedness of the surface. Besides that, it's also changing trajectory. It's twisting on its axis because of the Yarkovsky effect, and it's not steady. So there's a couple of problems going on with Bennu. So Bennu, formerly known as 1999 RQ-36, but we're calling it Bennu, is a potentially hazardous object, a PHO. It's listed on the Century Risk Table with the second highest cumulative rating on the Palermo Technical Impact Hazard Zone, hazard scaled. The investigators, the scientists have already warned that NASA, it could be devastating if they do not act. So they have to act. We have no method. We're tracking all these things coming into Earth, but we have no way of keeping them away from us. Can you imagine now, knowing that something is going to impact Earth, and we have no way of stopping it? So, in any event, they're still tracking all these things. Bennu is a potentially hazardous object, and we have no way of stopping it at this point. That's why they need to get a sample, and perhaps, I guess one of their ideas is to nuke it out of the skies. I don't know what else they could do. Maybe push it if it's not that heavy. So, according to scientist Maria Eugenia Sansatorio, this asteroid may even strike Earth in the future. She says that the total impact probability of asteroid Bennu can be estimated as approximately 1 in 1,000 chance, but what's most surprising is that over half of this chance corresponds to the year 2182. Now, the channel Destiny on YouTube has made chilling calculations should the worst happen. And the video is titled NASA has found an asteroid heading towards Earth. And the researchers last year said the effect of an impact on Earth would be insignificant on a planetary scale. The Earth would not be strongly disturbed by the impact and would lose only negligible mass. Can you imagine? Okay, we're going to lose some mass from the Earth. I shouldn't laugh. Negligible though, don't worry. Where's it going to go when we lose it? It's going to be flung out? Will it come back at us again? Who knows? There would be no noticeable change felt in the Earth's axis, and it would not shift or our orbit. On the other hand, the local effects would be much more devastating depending on where the impact takes place. The crater left behind by Bennu would measure about 3 miles in diameter and have a depth of 1,200 meters. That's over 3,600 feet deep. So to give that some perspective, the meteor crater in Arizona is just 1,200 meters in diameter and 170 meters deep. So this one's going to be, maybe 10 times as big. The video also discussed the effects of the space rock striking land. It said at a distance of 3.1 miles away, the debris would arrive in 32 seconds after the impact. Everything in the area would be buried under 52 feet of the projectile, of the debris. Everything would be 52 feet under dust and rocks, you can imagine. No fireball would be created, but the impact would trigger an earthquake, magnitude 6.7 on the Richter scale. The crater left behind by Bennu would measure 3 miles in diameter, as we said before. Now, the earthquake damage would be negligible. The air burst, though, would be far more devastating. It would arrive about 15.2 seconds after the impact and could reach an incredible 3,728 miles an hour. That's almost 4 times the speed of sound, causing significant damage. And then the consequences of water impact were evaluated. They said that, the narrator said that, but let's say Bennu impacted on the ocean, a tsunami wave of 92 to 183 feet tall would be generated in a distance of 31 miles from the impact site. The wave would arrive in just 8 minutes. Life would be much safer 300 miles from the shore, but cities would still see dust and a major seismic event would follow. The air blast would only be 7 miles an hour, and despite it not threatening the entire human race, it would be a major natural disaster. Most of the damage would be concentrated within tens of miles, but the planet would be unaffected as a whole. And there's also no reason to fear that NASA has a plan on hand. The space agency is right now running the mission OSIRIS-REx spacecraft to find out more about Bennu. The spacecraft spent 2 years chasing Bennu down. It's orbiting it for another 2 years, taking samples. As we said, from what I recently put up concerning this a couple of months ago, they can't get a sample. They're still trying, but they cannot get a sample. For the reasons that we said, it's too jagged to land to take a sample, and also it's spinning on its axis with the Yarkovsky effect, and it's not on its planned trajectory. So in 2023, the spacecraft OSIRIS-REx will blast back towards our Earth, assuming that it got the sample, to allow scientists from around the world to study the sample. And the mission team is interested in learning the role that asteroids like Bennu, primitive and carbon-rich, may have played in creating our life on Earth. Okay, so it will also help scientists to refine the odds of a strike on Earth. The thing is this, you want to find out about how our solar system was created, it has been evolving. The thing is, if it's a potentially hazardous asteroid object, you want to stop it from coming to us. So that's the samples that they're getting. They have to study them to see what they could use against this to change its trajectory so that it does not come towards Earth. This is on Express UK by Callum Hoare. If you'd like to join me on my Patreon account, you will hear content not covered by mainstream media. These riveting stories will be based on my research, and I will state my opinions and give my personal insight on diverse and controversial subjects and world events not covered by mainstream media, and not supported by YouTube guidelines. So whatever I have on my Patreon, most of those will not be on my YouTube channel. Please consider becoming a member today. More of the most significant and important videos will be on my Patreon channel. Your support helps me to continue my research and keeps this YouTube channel alive. And we depend on your support, your generous charity, because we help economically challenged families here in Athens, Greece, in Kapota, and we also help the young generation with university tuition and the community around our church. Thank you.